We can handle it. Right? We can hold it down.
To be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Feeling strong and jealousy. We are working to be free.
We are working our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need.
Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we really and truly do welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Hello, happy Sunday to our friends joining us on live stream. Today we are celebrating and honoring Transgender Day of Visibility, and I am so grateful to members of our Throop Queer Affinity Group who are lending their voices to our worship service today. We build our sacred trust when those of us who don't identify as transgender, when we listen to their stories, when we trust their experiences, and when we celebrate all of who they are in this world. And after worship, I have an extra special invitation, and honestly, from the pulpit today, it's more than an invitation. I'm imploring you. I'm not going to demand of you. But it's stronger than an invitation. I'd like to make it a requirement that all of you stay. Wait, what'd you say? Oh, purely invitational. That's going back to another worship, Jacqueline. Thank you for paying attention to the worship themes. But after worship from 12:15 until 1:15, we're having a trans ally panel, and it's really important for those of us who don't identify as transgender to show up there in a learning and listening and supportive mode. I think it's going to be really important. I know it's going to be important for me to be there, and it feels important for all of us to be there. And that'll be in the Colic Lounge, and so you're invited to bring in your coffee and treat, and we'll be in there as loving, supporting, learning community with one another. Now, does that sound amazing or what? Yes? Yes, it does. If you're new to Throop, we love to stay in touch with you. There's an info card in the back of the pew. You can fill that out and give it to an usher a little bit later in worship. And each one of us is indeed a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with the flame from our candles of hope and witness, with words from Richard Gilbert. We are, therefore we love. We love, therefore we are. May we be humble before the wonder of what we dare to create. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And as we continue to gather together in worship, we sing our opening hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere. It's number 95 in the Great Hymnal. And I invite you all to rise and sing out as body and spirit aloud, number 95. You found hope in the last week. Where did you find hope in the last week?
You know, in a very busy, sort of unstable thing, I feel like things have gotten better, and I have a new car, and that's been like my joy for the week is. Yeah.
Congratulations on the new car. Yeah.
I'm enjoying your dress, Matthew.
Thank you. It was a gift from Jacqueline.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that in time before service.
Thank you.
And it says it's for joint service.
Loving our earth is a really important value to this congregation, and each one of us find ways to do that that make sense for our own lives, our own spirituality, our own theologies, and a practice that binds us together. And that love for our earth is our promise to our planet that we say together each and every Sunday. And I invite you all to share that with me now. The words are in the order of worship. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, with hearts filled with love for it, ways the sacred and scarce resources, the well-being of all life, and of the planet itself.
Say that I'm crazy or call me a fool. But last night it seemed I dreamed about you. When I opened my mouth, what came out was a song, and you knew every word, and we all sang along to a melody played on the strings of our souls, and a rhythm that rattled us down to the bone. Our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud cortisone, our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud cortisone. Ai mi familia, oiga mi gente, canten a coro, let it be known. Our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud cortisone. Ai mi familia, oiga mi gente, canten a coro, let it be known. Our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud cortisone.
Alrighty. Now it's story time. Any small people, big people, medium people are welcome to join. Today I'm going to be reading, with the help of Ripley, The World Belongs to You by, move your sweet little finger, Ricardo Bazzi. This book is especially just for anyone who has felt like other, especially my trans and queer pals here. This one's for you. So it's called The World Belongs to You. The world belongs to you. Thank you. And you belong to the world. You are free, hopefully. You are free, but you have limits. You are free to believe in anything you want, especially here. You are also free to believe in nothing at all, especially here. You are free to love anyone you want. You are free to let love go. You are free to be loved, or not. You are free to play, especially if you're 50 pounds and covered in fur. And play and play and play. You are free to learn, even though it might hurt sometimes. You are free to be happy, but it won't always be easy. You are free to be unhappy, which isn't usually very hard. As strange as it seems, being unhappy isn't useless. Quite the opposite. You are free, but you have limits, and yet you are free to overcome those limits. Because the world belongs to you, and you belong to the world. The end.
One book pretty much summed up our philosophy of religious education here. Wow. And each Sunday, the youngest among us go to Kids Dig In, where they dig into their personal faith, dig into relationships, sometimes dig into our earth. Faith, thank you for leading the program today. And we sing them into that program now. The words are in your order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be. This morning I would love to share with you a pondering by Keith Silva called Let Fall to the Ground. My heart feels the way a wound does as it begins to heal, kind of itchy around the edges, with a buzz of new pink skin growing to close the gaps. My heart feels like the morning after a fever, when you know the worst is over, but you are still weakened from the heat, and there is a quiet hallelujah to find yourself still alive and hopeful in this new dawn. My heart feels like a garden that was just run over by a tractor. But a few hours have passed, and some of the trampled plants begin to lift themselves out of the mud and reach once again towards the sun. My heart feels like a wet hacky sack, sitting alone in the grass after being kicked around a circle of eager feet and knees and butts and backs, the satisfying smack of human contact so fleeting, like a dance made of shadows, just resting now in the sun-setting ache. My heart feels like a horse that has been rode hard and put away wet, and although the stench and dust and throb and piercing and dull, there is relief in knowing that the rider is off my back, and there are no more miles to walk this night while the stars are shining. My heart feels like a pomegranate that life cherished for a while, sinking its shining teeth into leathery flesh to suck the red juices and let it fall to the ground, whose kernels are just beginning to soften and break and sprout as I tentatively reach my fledgling supple roots into new, welcoming ground. We are here in the memory of those who have fallen, those who have fallen, those who have fallen.
fallen. We are here in the memory of those who have fallen. Here for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are. We are standing in the memory of those who have fallen. Those who have fallen. Those who have fallen. We are standing in the memory of those who have fallen. Standing for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are. We are singing in the memory of those who have fallen. Those who have fallen. Those who have fallen. We are singing in the memory of those who have fallen. Singing for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are. We are here in the memory of those who have fallen. Those who have fallen. Those who have fallen. We are here in the memory of those who have fallen. Here for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are.
I am so proud to be part of a church that instills and affirms courage in each one of you and all of us to really be all of who we are. It's amazing to be part of a church community that has that at a core of our values and philosophies and beliefs and practices. And this church is sustained by all of the many ways that each one of you put your hands and hearts into this sacred place. You support it through your gifts of time and your gifts of talent and your gifts of treasure. And now is a moment where you can generously support the ministries and programs of our beloved congregation. You can give a gift online. You can give a gift here in the room when Cynthia comes down the aisle with the offering plate. And if you're a first-time visitor, we ask that you let the offering plate pass you by. Our morning offering will now be gratefully received.
We've cleared off the table, leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away.
I've told you a story, tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day.
As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea,
I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. Oh, you can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose your special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done.
there are girls who grow up strong and bold.
There are boys quiet and kind.
Some race on ahead, some follow behind, some go in their own way in time. Some women love women, some men love men, some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end
Of of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they'll give the same back to you. You can be anybody you want to be. You can choose whoever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose your special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done.
In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up all of those supporting today's worship service. I'd like to thank Steve on live stream and your assistant, Faith with the children's program, Jacqueline for being a greeter, and Cynthia for being an usher, Hillary for all of your administrative support. And I'd like to thank the members of our Throop trans community who are taking leadership roles in today's service, and that is Malcolm, Taryn, Jacqueline, Matthew, Arav, and of course, Malcolm and choir with all of our inspiring music. Thank you. And as we pause in recognition for all the ways we support our Throop community life, please say with me the words of gratitude that are in the order of worship. With gratitude for the ministries of the church that hold us and embolden us to love the world, we bless our offering and the many gifts that we share. Our centering hymn this morning is How Could Anyone? It's number 1053 in the Teal hymnal. And please sing together.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
How could anyone fail to notice?
How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? deeply you're connected to my soul.
And with that reminder of just how beautiful you are, I invite you into some intentional breaths, some intentional focus on your breathing, connecting in with how your body feels in this moment. Connecting in with how your heart feels, and letting your whole self, or as much of yourself as you can, really sink into and enjoy this moment of stillness. So many of you move so fast during the week. You have so many people and responsibilities and deadlines and worries and heartbreaks. And sometimes all of that causes us to just move almost without thinking. Maybe we don't want to be thinking from one thing to the next thing. And we lose sight of how beautiful each of us really is, and how beautiful our beloveds are, the ones sitting right next to us, the ones across the hall, perhaps our beloveds who are partway around the world. And we can lose sight of the beauty of the world that's right in front of us. And now's an opportunity to just remember and appreciate all of that love and beauty that is indeed part of your life. This morning we have a prayer for healing and hope. And it comes to us from Jack. And right now, Jack needs support and holding and healing for Maggie, our beloved dog, who really, I feel like, is part of our pastoral care team here. Maggie will start a joint medicine soon, and hopefully that will enable Maggie to be out on the hiking trails again. And we hold both Jack and Maggie in our hearts. And we hold a few moments of stillness for other beloveds in our lives who need our prayers and energy and love for their own process of healing and reclaiming hope. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
No, your mom don't get it, and your dad don't get it, Uncle John don't get it. And you can't tell Grandma 'cause her heart can't take it, and she might not make it.
They say don't dare, don't you even go there, cutting off your long hair, you do as you're told. Till you wake up, go put on your makeup, this is just a phase you're gonna outgrow.
There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village, in the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong with the village, wrong with the village. There's something wrong with the village.
Feel the rumors follow you from Monday all the way to Friday dinner.
You got one day of shelter, then it's Sunday hell to pay, you young lost sinner.
Well, I've been there sitting in that same chair, whispering that same prayer 500,000 times.
It's a lie though, buried in disciples. One page of the Bible isn't worth a lie, isn't worth a lie,
Isn't worth a lie. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village, in the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. There's something wrong with the village. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village, in the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong with the village, with the village. There's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong with the village, wrong with the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true.
We are about to hear from 3 members of our queer affinity group. They, I think, each identify in their own ways. I'm not going to put that on them. They may want to share that as part of their words that they share with you. Every Sunday, whoever's in the pulpit, there's an element of vulnerability to be in front of people and speaking from your heart. There's an added layer of vulnerability when you're speaking from your heart to people that you really and truly love and know. And when you're speaking from your heart to people that you really and truly love and know, and you're sharing a part of your identity that perhaps at times feels tender, or a part of your identity that perhaps in the village isn't totally understood or appreciated or celebrated or seen, but that you know that it's going to be celebrated and seen here, that adds an extra layer of tenderness. And so when Taryn and Matthew and Arav come into the pulpit, it is extra special, holy and sacred and important space for them, for us. And so we are here to listen. We are here to trust the experiences, and we are here to celebrate that they are indeed sharing from this pulpit, our pulpit. So please come forward.
This is titled Born Flower, Been Rose, and it's by Apollo Berkey, known as I Write to Be Heard on allpoetry.com. To be a man trapped in a woman's body is like walking around with a large flower sprouting from your forehead. It sometimes blooms or wilts, but everyone can see it, even when you wish they didn't. People love my flower, though. They'll reach out to touch it without asking, and ask when it blooms and how much I water it. I tell them I don't know, and I don't water it. I was just born with it. I don't like seeing my flower in the mirror. It's an ugly shade of pink with a yellow center. I've never liked pink and yellow. I always imagine it red. The day I turned 12, I found a boy with a painted flower. It was originally an ugly pink like mine, but now it was a beautiful, vibrant orange. That same day, I asked my mom for red paint. She asked why I wanted it and what I would use it for. I told her the truth. I don't like my pink flower. She smiled and said, I know you don't. Nobody does. You'll learn to love it. Boys my age loved my flower even more when it started to grow leaves. They gave it so much attention, but I hated it once it was all they saw. A beautiful pink flower with bright green leaves, not the person who owned it. I didn't want my flower. I didn't like it at all. I wanted it off. I wanted it gone. I told my mother and she laughed. It died when I told her I wanted it dead. She bought me red paint and stencils and such to turn my flower to look more bulked up. A bright red with no leaves, replaced with thorns, a rose that I loved and showered with adoration. When I told people that I didn't like my flower and decided to change it, they instead mocked and laughed and said the same thing. You'll never have a rose. It'll always be a flower. It saddened me deeply. I kept my rose under a pot, afraid to let it soak in the sun, afraid to let it live any longer when all I wanted was for it to go away, for it to wither away and fall in my sleep. Even today, when all the flowers in the world are starting to show, I'm still afraid to take the pot off. I'm a scared little rose in a field of flowers, too worried about what they think. They'll see you as you are until you get too comfortable, when you take the pot off and they see what you are. They'll treat you like every flower and overwhelm you with their leaves, until you can't see your own stem. When my rose dies and my body is studied, they'll realize I was born with a flower and not a rose. They'll write in my grave and say it to my parents. She was a beautiful flower. It was a real shame. Nothing will ever change, not a bucket of red paint or a surgery or a chemical, because as soon as my flower blooms, it's all out the window. A scared little boy in a world of people, too afraid to show what I am, stuck in this body like a mark of guilt for a crime I didn't commit.
When asked to find a reading for trust, I decided to go with a promise to our kids and the youth of this world that they can trust us and we will make things right. So this is A Message for Trans Kids, a poem by Keith Silva. There are many who came before you. We are a shining light, we are shining bright, holding you in our warmth. We are walking to make the world a place where you can smile, live, and play, and be celebrated. Until then, tend the flame of who you are in your wild, creative hearts. Find us and those who walk beside you. Together, we will overcome. The world needs your light.
Today what I've picked is a poem by Dana Kiefer called Visibly Trans on a Sunday Afternoon. And I believe this one's really important, especially now, to be as visible as you can so other people know who you are and that they're safe around you. When my friends and I meet in the park in our own version of Sunday Best, painting ourselves into Suha, it is not just for quality time, it is liberation, celebration. We are telling the earth and the air that we are our entire selves, and the world is better for it. Did you know that there could be 12,000 of us in Greater Cleveland? That's enough for rallies, that's enough for parades, that's enough for community. The only reason I look at other people's transition timelines is to see how the brightness fills up their eyes more and more in each photo, despite everything that is thrusted, fired at us. Even when I look into my own tired eyes, I can still see that same brightness that was never there before I became myself. It's like I can see life in full color for the first time. Every queer picnic is its own victory, worthy of being written down in each of our personal history books. The littlest things have become the boldest. We intend to laugh and eat and drink the dew off the cool shaded grass. It's my hope that someone who isn't out yet will see us. Maybe it will be you. And you will smile to yourself and feel safe, if only for a second. Trauma has never made me stronger, but my friends have, every week. And I need you to know that, and I need you to see that there's always an empty seat at our table.
Thank you all so much. We have an opportunity after worship to continue to be in faithful conversation with each other, learning from our trans community about how we can be the best, most supportive allies we can be. I think we're going to have some snacks in there. My understanding is there are also some resources about ongoing education and discovery that we can do, those of us that don't identify as transgender. And Faith is staying to offer childcare. So if you have young ones with you, she'll be with them so you can engage in our program. And I want to encourage all of us to take this holy and sacred and important space that we have created in here, and we'll just move it into the Colic Lounge. My greatest hope is that we run out of chairs and that we have to reconfigure and be in Throop Hall, because all of us have decided to spend an hour together in this learning and discovery. And we sing our closing hymn, which is number 1004 in the teal hymnal. It's Buscal Amor. And Malcolm, do we need to know anything about singing the song?
You know, I think the one thing to know is that you'll notice in your hymnal that it's written out in English and in Spanish at the chorus on the second page. And when we get there, we're going to sing it in English, and then we're going to try to sing it in Spanish. So please, do your best with the Spanish.
And I invite you all to
English, that's okay.
rise and sing out as body and spirit allow, number 1004.
Revisa tu corazón para hallar el amor en un rincón. Pero buscar amor, ni placer ni pasión, el amor, lo que hace al otro bien. Seek out the love in you and find the joy that comes to those who care. Seek out the love in you. It only grows whenever it is shared. Seek out the love in you and find the joy that comes to those who care. Seek out the love in you. It only grows whenever it is shared. Seek out the love in you, in you. Busca el amor en ti, se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti, solo que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti, solo que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, en ti. Seek out the love in you and find the joy that comes to those who care. Seek out the love in you. It only grows whenever it is shared. Seek out the love in you and find the joy that comes to those who care. Seek out the love in you. It only grows whenever it is shared. Seek out the love in you, in you.
Gently take the hand or elbow of someone near you. Our chalice is extinguished and we carry its light with us as we seek out love, as we seek out compassion, as we seek out connection and knowing and honoring our whole and holy selves and that of those around us. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen and blessed be.
When I lift my voice, let it be in song, a defiant note in the face of wrong. I won't stand alone, we'll stand side by side, 'cause we know that love is always justified. When they try to divide us, it will only unite us. I lift my voice. When I lift my voice, let it be for good. Let me care as much as I know I should. I won't stand alone, we'll stand side by side, 'cause we know that love is always justified. When they try to divide us, it will only unite us. I lift my voice. I lift my voice.